But discrimination for the first time in my life, and felt like I was told by people that I didn't belong here, that I should go back to where I came from. And that, knowing that I couldn't, at first it didn't bother me because I'm like, I am going back. But now I wasn't. So now it's looking at the future. Well, what does that mean for me? What does that mean for my future, for my plans? I had a school picked out in Mexico, a college that I was going to go to so I could study architecture, where I was going to live. I had plans, and it felt like those were all gone, and nobody cared about them. Nobody asked me if I wanted to move here. Nobody asked me if I wanted to stay. Nobody asked me if this was part of my plan. And if they had, I would have said no. Maybe that's why they didn't ask. I felt like everything crumbled, everything dissolved, everything just, went up in the air, and it was gone. Like, now I had to start over for real. And I felt alone because I didn't have friends who had gone through that. My brother and my sister came here younger, and they had a lot easier time adapting and just making friends. I guess in a way I pushed away that part of it because I was going back. But now, 14 years old, I was told that, no, this is it. This is your life. Like, get used to it. That path to citizenship is a lot harder than people think. I was told a lot, like, oh, why don't you just become a citizen? It would make life so much easier. And you're right, it will make life so much easier, but the path to it is expensive, and it's hard, and it's long, and there's a lot of roadblocks, and there's a lot of hoops to jump, and it's more than a lot of people imagine. So my dad had been working for a few years as a car salesman, and he was number one for the company. He was, by a lot. I mean, he won their contest every single month. He was comfortable enough talking to his bosses in the company about his status. When they did, we were very surprised, as scary as it was, and all the fear that came with it, and making plans that we were probably going to be sent back if this didn't work out, because now we were known. People knew now. But they decided that they wanted to sponsor us. They wanted to help us. And everything felt like, okay, so we're here in this country. I can actually make plans for my future. I can make plans to go to college. I can make plans to have a career after this. I can do something. I have a future. I don't have to hide. We knew that the process was going to be long, but in the meantime, they were going to give my dad a work visa, and for us to have a student/living visa where we could be here legally. I couldn't work. I was your straight A top student. When I first moved here, one of the hardest things was receiving my first C that first 9 weeks, and seeing that report card with not reflecting what I could do, not reflecting my understanding of the content, or how smart I was, how intelligent, how hard I had worked. And seeing that C felt like a slap in the face. Felt like, but you don't truly see me. You don't truly see my potential. Throughout my high school career, I worked hard. I was top 10% of my class. I was involved in extracurricular activities, every AP class that you can think of. So I made it a point to work hard. I wanted to study what I wanted to. I wanted a job at NASA. I wanted a prestigious job. I don't know. I just wanted a life. But there was always that push to do more, to prove people wrong, to say, even though I have an accent, that doesn't take away of how smart I am. I heard she's not even going to graduate from high school. Why is she still going? She's going to end up pregnant before she even graduates. And I always felt like an outsider. I never felt like I really belonged. And I know part of it was the fear that I didn't belong. I wasn't an American. I didn't feel like one. I felt the fear of them finding out, even though we were here legally by now. There was a student visa. I wasn't undocumented, but I wasn't an American. I finished high and our paperwork was still in the works. So there were a lot of opportunities that I wasn't able to take. But I am glad that the opportunity for higher education was still there for me. So I was able to apply to college. I got in with no problems to any university that I applied to. I got scholarships, but I wasn't able to take advantage of all the ones that were there, all the ones that were available because of my status. I wasn't able to get financial aid or apply for it. So my parents made the sacrifice to pay for what they could. And that also meant that I had to stay at home and go to the University of Houston, which turned out to be an amazing school and an amazing experience. But it wasn't my choice. And once again, I felt like there was something that was forced on me without asking me. There was no, Karla, what do you want to do? Karla, what does your future look like? What are your plans? What are your visions? What are your goals? It was, this is what you have, take it or leave it. So once again, it just felt like, it felt forced. It felt like this is what you have to do. You have no choice.